Unbelievable. IU and Lee Jong Suk secretly tie the knot in Seoul. Fans left speechless. Could this be real? Did Korea's beloved sweetheart and the nation's top actor really say "I do" behind closed doors? The whispers have now exploded into undeniable headlines, and the world can't believe its eyes. From secret venues to tight-lipped insiders, this love story has just taken the most unexpected turn. Welcome to Red Carpet Revealed. Let's dive into this shocking revelation together, right now. The of Seoul had never been quieter, nor had it ever erupted into such a storm of disbelief, both emotions echoing simultaneously across millions of screens and hearts. On what seemed like an ordinary morning, the entertainment world was shaken to its core when the news broke. IU and Lee Jong Suk were officially married in a private ceremony held in Seoul. There was no warning, no leaks, no whispers beforehand. The couple, who had been linked romantically but had kept most of their relationship under wraps, had just pulled off the most private celebrity wedding in recent memory. The shocking announcement came not from a press release or a media outlet, but through a poetic handwritten letter IU posted on her private fan cafe, later confirmed by Lee Jong Suk's agency, Zim Studio. In the letter, IU shared her emotions softly, but each word carried a seismic weight. "I met someone who makes me feel safe. Someone who inspires me to sing love songs again with sincerity." The news spread like wildfire. At first, many fans refused to believe it. IU, the nation's little sister, the queen of K-ballads, the multi-award-winning singer-songwriter who had become a symbol of pure-hearted charm, was now someone's wife. That someone happened to be none other than Lee Jong Suk, the charismatic heartthrob who had spent the past decade redefining male leads in K-dramas with his brooding elegance and soft-spoken depth. While paparazzi often attempted to catch glimpses of their relationship, neither IU nor Lee Jong Suk had ever confirmed anything beyond vague mutual admiration. It wasn't until Lee Jong Suk delivered a heartfelt speech at the 2022 MBC Drama Awards that fans began connecting the dots. "There's someone who's been with me through the hardest times, someone I respect and want to protect," he said tearfully, his voice breaking. At the time, it was assumed to be a family member or mentor. Only later did the realization sink in. He had been talking about IU. Now, with the sudden confirmation of their secret wedding, fans and industry insiders alike are scrambling to piece together the timeline, the location, the guest list, and more importantly, the why now. Sources close to both IU and Lee Jong Suk claimed that the couple had been planning this moment for over a year. They had chosen Namsan Hanok Village, a picturesque location rich in traditional Korean beauty, as the backdrop for their vows. Only a few close family members and longtime friends were in attendance. There were no industry giants, no red carpets, no elaborate designer gowns made public. IU in a simple white hanbok, and Lee Jong Suk in a muted ceremonial robe, under a canopy of blooming white flowers and sky lanterns, as if written into the ending of a melodrama. What makes this story truly sensational is not just the wedding itself, it's the path that brought them here. Fans of both IU and Lee Jong Suk recall how their personal journeys had been filled with pain, pressure, and overwhelming public scrutiny. IU, after all, had grown up in front of the nation's eyes, from a struggling teenager trying to make ends meet, to a national icon, constantly scrutinized for her lyrics, her style, her friendships. She carried the weight of being a role model while suffering silent battles with anxiety and loneliness. Lee Jong Suk, on the other hand, who has been perceived as the enigmatic man of few words, hiding his emotional depth behind powerful performances. Despite his fame, he was notoriously private. His inner circle was tight, his interviews filtered, his thoughts rarely made public. The only time he truly opened up was when he talked about love, but even then, he never gave names. Until now. Industry analysts believe this secret wedding signals something deeper, a quiet rebellion against celebrity culture in South Korea. Both IU and Lee Jong Suk have always walked slightly off the beaten path, never chasing virality, exploiting romance for headlines. And yet, here they are, dominating global headlines by doing the one thing nobody expected, choosing each other. In silence, away from cameras, away from expectations. In a way, it was a love story hiding in plain sight. Flashbacks now surface, of them attending the same fashion shows, liking each other's posts, of the joint appearance at an awards show in 2021 where IU shyly laughed at Lee Jong Suk's joke, their eyes locking for just a second too long. Now pore over those moments with fresh understanding, realizing they had been witnessing the first few chapters of this love story unfold. But not everyone is thrilled. Social media has exploded with a mix of joy and heartbreak. "I always dreamed of marrying IU," one fan wrote with mock tears. "I guess Jong Suk got there first." Others are celebrating the news with genuine warmth, writing, "Perfect for each other. Two gentle souls, finally finding peace together." The first part of this story closes. We now turn to the more intimate side of their wedding night. The whispered vows, the unexpected appearance of a cherished third guest, and a special musical tribute IU wrote just for Lee Jong Suk, one that will never be released commercially but was played on a single piano under the stars. As the stars blanketed the Seoul sky and the murmurs of the day gave way to hushed wonder, the small courtyard of Namsan Hanok village glowed with a gentle warmth. Lanterns danced in the wind, casting flickers of light across the centuries-old tiles beneath IU and Lee Jong Suk's feet. This was not just a wedding, it was an intimate rebellion against everything that glitters yet feels hollow in the spotlight of fame. While media outlets scrambled for confirmation and headlines exploded with disbelief, the couple was already well into the most emotional part of their celebration, a private tribute to their journey, raw, unfiltered, and beyond the reach of tabloids. Known for her eloquence through song, didn't prepare a traditional wedding speech. Instead, she quietly stepped forward and sat at a polished black piano placed under the courtyard's central pagoda. Microphone, no audience cameras, and only flickering candlelight beside her. She played a melody unfamiliar to the world, but instantly understood by one man sitting silently in front of her. It was a song written only for Lee Jong Suk. Signaled letters never sent. The piece was hauntingly beautiful, with cascading arpeggios that felt like whispers and long pauses that spoke louder than any lyric. He had written it during one of their most difficult periods, when public scrutiny nearly forced them apart. When her work was criticized, when he was dealing with legal controversies involving his agency. The song was her way of saying, even when I couldn't speak publicly, I was always writing you in silence. When she finished, Lee Jong Suk stood up slowly and walked over, wiping away a tear before gently bowing to her. "Thank you," he said, barely audible. "Always saved me without trying." The small group of guests, composed mostly of family and a few childhood friends, witnessed something surreal. Here were two of Korea's most famous people, to nothing more than a man and a woman choosing each other without spectacle. There was no luxury brand dominance, no red carpet excess, no media circus. The only flash was from a friend's vintage camera, and even that was used discreetly. An unexpected guest. Just when everyone thought the night had reached its emotional peak, there was a subtle shuffle at the rear of the Hanok courtyard. An older man, distinguished in his presence, stepped forward. IU's former vocal coach, whom she hadn't seen in over a decade. Unknown to most, Jong Suk had invited him without telling IU, knowing how much she regretted not having him around during her award milestones. The reunion led to an emotional embrace that left IU in tears. "You taught me how to sing with my soul," she whispered. "And now I finally get to sing in peace." The gesture underscored Lee Jong Suk's deep understanding of her, not just as a celebrity but as a woman who carried unspoken losses. Later in the evening, the couple shared their first dance. It wasn't choreographed. No special lighting. Just the sound of cicadas, a soft breeze. Distant violin played live by a friend of Jong Suk's from university. They didn't move like performers. They swayed like survivors, two people who had loved in hiding and now loved in freedom. A wedding without phones. Age where every moment is documented. IU and Lee Jong Suk made a bold choice: no phones, no social media, no live posts. Guests had been asked days before to leave their devices outside the premises. Not even a professional videographer was hired. Goal wasn't to capture the wedding for public consumption, it was to live it. The absence of screens changed everything. Looked each other in the eyes. Conversations were longer. Laughs were louder. IU's mother was seen chatting with Jong Suk's aunt, sharing childhood stories that made the couple blush. A long table filled with handwritten notes from guests replaced the typical digital guest book. Some notes were playful, others poetic. One simply read, "Thank you for reminding us that love doesn't need witnesses to be real." The aftermath. By morning, the outside world was still reeling. Hashtags like IU Jong Suk wedding, secretly married royalty, and our fairy tale come true dominated Twitter trends in Korea, Japan, and even parts of the US. And reactions ranged from stunned joy to bittersweet heartbreak. Some fans cried because they felt a chapter had closed, particularly IU's male fans who jokingly mourned their dream marriage. Others created celebratory fan art, showing the couple in animated handbox surrounded by sakura blossoms and musical notes. But beyond the viral reactions, something profound began to happen. People started re-evaluating what it means to be in the public eye. The wedding became a cultural reset. Programs began discussing the event not as gossip but as a social phenomenon. Journalists commented on how rare it was to see privacy being honored, even celebrated, in such an industry. Articles began surfacing titled "How IU and Lee Jong Suk Changed the Korean Wedding Narrative and the Power of a Love Lived Quietly." Even fellow celebrities posted cryptic messages in admiration. BTS's RM shared a photo of cherry blossoms with no caption. Actress Kim Tae-ri wrote, "Maybe real love doesn't scream. Maybe it whispers and waits. What comes next?" Insiders reveal that both IU and Lee Jong Suk will be taking a step back from public appearances, not to escape fame, but to recalibrate. IU is reportedly writing a full-length album inspired by her journey over the last 3 years, tentatively titled Eclipsed, while Lee Jong Suk is rumored to be starring in a historical film centered around forbidden love and honor, art seemingly imitating life. Despite their marriage, the couple will not move in together immediately. Sources close to them say they plan to split time between 2 separate residences, a symbolic gesture to maintain their independence while building something new together. Not merging lives. IU is quoted as saying privately, "We are walking side by side, hand in hand, toward the same horizon." The couple also plans to donate all monetary gifts and floral arrangements from the wedding to a charity supporting youth mental health in South Korea, another signal that this wedding was never about luxury, but about legacy. Final scene. At the end of the night, long after guests had left and the courtyard was quiet, IU and Lee Jong Suk reportedly stayed behind for a final moment alone. A single lantern was lit and sent floating into the Seoul sky with a note attached. Nobody knows what it said. Some believe it was a message to their younger selves, those scared kids who once felt they weren't enough. Others say it was a promise, written not in words, but in intention. One guest, who saw them whispering and laughing under the flickering light, said, "I felt like I was watching the last scene of a drama." That doesn't need a sequel. And perhaps that's the beauty of it. Story doesn't need cliffhangers or fanfare. It has already become a legend that defied schedules, broke expectations, and chose sincerity over spectacle. IU and Lee Jong Suk didn't just get married, they reminded the world that the most powerful stories are the ones that happen quietly, when no one is looking. Spaces between fame and forever. As dawn slowly crept over Seoul, painting the Hanok rooftops in pale gold, IU and Lee Jong Suk sat side by side on the wooden porch, feet dangling slightly above the stone path. The air was still, save for the chirping of early morning birds and the soft rustling of trees in the courtyard. They didn't speak much, but they didn't have to. Silence lived 100 shared memories, countless unspoken fears. Lifetime of dreams now beginning together. IU rested her head on Jong Suk's shoulder, and he, instinctively, wrapped his arm around her. In that moment, not celebrities, not public figures, not icons of Korean pop culture. They were simply 2 people who had waited long enough, endured enough, and finally, found peace in each other. Leaving, they placed one last item beneath the pagoda where she had played her song. It was a simple wooden box, sealed with red thread. No one knows what's inside. Guests speculate it's a time capsule, a quiet gift to their future selves, or perhaps to their future child. Something to be opened when the world is no longer watching, when their story has matured, and when the next chapter is ready to be written. It may have ended, but the echoes of it linger, not on glossy magazine covers or loud social media feeds, but in the hearts of everyone who believes in real love, unrushed, unwavering, and true. Because sometimes, the loudest love stories are the ones whispered softly, just between 2 souls. IU and Lee Jong Suk? They just wrote one for the ages.